Hi, I'm Chris Cresslins with Vianney Vocations, and I'm excited to talk to you about Vocation Pathway. Vocation Pathway is a direct plan of action. While we 100% believe in the need to create awareness, this particular strategy focuses on harvesting the crop that God has already planted and will plant in your diocese. So in order to do this, we first form a team of priests who will commit themselves to this strategic plan. We get the vocation office in contact with a large number of young men, and then we accompany them through the discernment process, and we raise enough money to support this program and raise a significant amount of money for seminarians. And if funding is not an issue in your diocese, we're going to use that time to amplify the vocation message in your diocese. And we also help you with a variety of other things, which I'll touch on. So it all starts with a solid and clearly communicated plan to make sure everybody is on the same page. The idea of getting every priest on board to actively promote vocations and work with young men is a great idea, but as you know, it's just not a reality. So we take the team you have or the team you form, and we specifically train them on the vocation pathway strategy. So the bottom line is that we expand your capacity as a vocation director. So most dioceses will have a team of 5 to 10 guys. And the team are made up of the right men who are in the right places to pull this strategy off. And the team is asked to meet with us on a monthly Zoom meeting and to run discernment groups in the fall and the spring semesters, and also help us with a call by name follow-up. Then we're going to come to your diocese and lead a workshop where the plan is communicated to the entire presbyterate, and we're going to clarify what the team is doing and what we're going to ask them to do, which is basically 2 things, which is to help us on the call by name weekend and to help us on the appeal weekend, or what we call the invocation weekend. So priests, I've seen it, I've worked in diocese for 12 years, often come to a workshop with low expectations, sometimes negativity, but in our workshops, they're going to leave knowing the plan, knowing their role. They leave excited, they leave optimistic. Now with everybody on board, we're ready to launch a campaign to put you in touch with a lot of men. For example, New York has 950 guys they're in contact with now. Denver, 950. The Diocese of Boise, which is the entire state of Idaho, 750 guys. And we're able to get these numbers because our campaigns are well organized and they're well communicated. I spoke to a brand new diocese that said they tried this in the past, but because they didn't have the bandwidth, it wasn't well organized, it wasn't well marketed, and they weren't able to follow up the way they wanted to. So they're excited that we're able to offer them the support that we've offered these other dioceses. 2 vocation directors told me that through these campaigns, men came forward themselves who had been kind of dodging discerning the priesthood and said, no, it's time I really do this. And they actually reached out and contacted the vocation office just from seeing this information out there. Now, once we have all these contacts, it's just as important for us to be able to organize this information. So we build a customized database where all of the guys who come in from the called by name come into the database, and they get linked up with team members, priests on the team in the different areas of the diocese. And then we meet with your team monthly, and we go over this list to make sure no one is being left behind. To give you an example of how this kind of plays out, Denver had over 950 submissions. We took that list, we invited the guys to an event with the Archbishop. 90 men attended the event. 75% of them told us they would be interested in being part of a discernment group. So now we know where to connect these guys to the priests who have the discernment groups this fall. And there's some other things. We're able to review the data by, organize it by the priest. We can organize it by events. It also is a mobile response. There's a mobile app for it, so that if you meet a guy, maybe after Mass, or you go out for coffee with him or whatever, you can make a note on his record of kind of where he's at in the process. So we don't have to start back from the beginning with him and asking questions. We can remember where we left off in the conversation. Where is this guy in his discernment process? It helps the guy working with the man. It helps the whole team because they can all use it. Every one of these guys who goes into the system is going to begin to receive a weekly automated message from the vocation director on some topic of discernment, which is going to help the guy go through the process of discernment. But all of this leads to our main goal, which is to get in personal contact with these men. We're not going to social media our way into vocations. We're not going to market our way into vocations. Ultimately, we have to be in contact and relationship with these young guys. And so what we're going to do is bolster your promotion to ensure that guys are attending your events and you can be in personal contact with them. Father Brett Brandon says there's not a silver bullet in vocation work, but if there were, it would be discernment groups. So with the help of Father Michael Pratt, the Melchizedek Project has been totally overhauled and is a key core event in our strategy. For example, one small diocese we work with, less than 100,000 Catholics, we're able to get 8 groups going with their team, and 82 young men in the fall semester went to these groups. That diocese ended up doubling their number of seminarians, and many of the new seminarians had gone through the group. And you most likely and hopefully already have events like these throughout the year. We work with you to refine these events, to strategically place these events, and promote them so they're well attended. Guys might be attracted to the idea of priesthood, but in a sense they need to begin to court priesthood so they can discern if they want to continue on in the process and eventually apply for seminary. Vocation Pathway includes a day or two where we come out to your diocese and we create a library of content, photos, videos, so we can personalize all of your promotional material and communication. It makes everything personalized. This includes doing your website. It also includes all your internal and external communication. An example of internal is one priest workshop I went to. The priest asked the vocation director, where do our guys now go? Where do they go now for seminary? And the vocation director answered, but he said, it'd be really great if we had something we could give the guys so they knew where our men went. So if you're a graduate from high school, you're probably going to go here. Postgraduate from college, you're probably going to go here, etc. And we also included tips of how to work with the men in their parish who, especially if they're a little ways off from being able to apply for seminary. Like 5 key things you can do with that guy until he's ready to apply. This also includes all of your posters as well. Now, at the end of the day, we're going to put you in touch with a large group of guys. We're going to fill the top of that funnel so that we have more guys attending the events, more guys we're walking with, and eventually more men applying for seminary. But in order to do that, we need to be in contact with more guys on the front end of that. So again, Vocation Pathway focuses on harvesting the crop that God's already planted in your diocese. And through this, we're seeing many dioceses double the number of new seminarians. And for the dioceses that want to fund Vocation Pathway and raise money for seminarians, we run an appeal that's proven to be a net gain for dioceses. For example, Diocese of Bridgeport has one weekend raised $850,000, which easily paid for Vocation Pathway and paid for 10 seminarians. Boise raised $160,000, attracted additional gifts that totaled $300,000. I was just on a meeting with Boise, and during the meeting, the vocation director showed us another major gift came in for $50,000 to support this whole effort. Now, if funding is not needed, alternatively, we run something called an invocation weekend. But in both cases, it's an opportunity to really amplify the message of vocations in your diocese. Now you've expanded your capacities by having an active team. The priest now duplicated himself in the team. And now you have expanded your office by teaming up with our staff. And just as the vocation team of priests doesn't replace the vocation director, our staff doesn't replace the work of your staff. We're going to work in collaboration, and it just expands your abilities to do the work. So in the end, you have the help you need. You have more men in the pipeline, more guys attending your events, more guys applying for seminary, and it more than pays for itself. And it works year after year to establish a true pathway to vocations. You may be on our website. You can see there's a little scheduling link there to sign up for a time to meet with me, or maybe that link is in the email, or you can reach out to us and we can give you a more thorough overview and answer your questions.